Post license. You've all got your license already. And you're ready to get out there and get some of those big checks.
Yes.
Yes, we're ready. What you've done so far is like you went to get your driver's license. You got a book and you studied really hard and you learned what the signs look like and you learned different things to do and not do. But even though you've got the license to drive, you've never driven. That's what this class is about. This class is to teach you how to drive. And we're going to work through several modules in here. First thing we're going to do is a business plan tonight. We're going to figure out how do we get people to come to us? How do we get to them? Database. That's what we're going to spend a lot of time on tonight because if you meet somebody, you don't just talk to them one time. It's not likely when you first talk to them, say, you need to get over here right now, I'm ready to buy a house. It may be a month, it may be 6, it may be a year, 2 years sometimes before this person finally gets around and does the deal. So we're going to be working on pipelines and setting that up tonight. Next session, we'll work on pricing property. Then we'll move on to sellers, buyers, and we'll do through each one of the modules. A lot of this is going to be internet-based, where we're going to go on the internet and look at videos and look at what other people have done, so we can learn from them. The internet is a wonderful resource for finding out how other people are doing things. Just an example, my car was making a noise, and I thought, well, what is that noise? I got on YouTube. And they said, well, here's how it is, and you can fix it. And within 10 minutes, I thought I could do brain surgery. This is the same way. You're ready to drive, you want to drive. We're going to watch some videos on driving. And then when you get ready, you're going to be confident to do it. Y'all ready?
Ready.
Let's get going. Business plan, new agent video. A lot of this stuff is, since it is internet.
Welcome to Boomtown Real Estate Agency. I am the manager here. How may I help you?
I want to be a real estate agent.
Can I ask why you want to be a real estate agent?
I want to make lots of money. What can you do to make it easy for me to sell houses so I can make a lot of money?
You need to contact at least 50 people every week.
No, I don't need to do that.
You need to go on caravans and preview them to 15 houses every week.
No. I have natural ability.
You need to have a database that you contact regularly.
No, I just have to tell them I'm in real estate.
You have to learn a script.
No. I am great at living.
You will have to work evenings and weekends.
No. That will interfere with my personal time.
You need to spend 3 to 4 hours every day generating leads.
Not necessary. Everybody I meet will want to do business with me.
Why do you want to be a real estate agent?
I have a magnetic personality. It must be easy to sell expensive houses when people meet someone as special as me. And I have a nice car.
The things I have told you are what make an agent successful.
I have natural ability. Whenever I did not make a sale in my previous job, it was never my fault. The client was stupid.
We have a solution for that. We do have a magic desk with a phone that automatically calls everyone in the phone book and finds who wants to sell their house.
That sounds like the job for me.
We also have an assistant to do all your paperwork and a chauffeur with a champagne-stocked limo to take you to appointments.
This is better than the job I have now.
We create a life-size robot that looks like you, which shows property, meets with clients and closes transactions with no effort from you.
I'm going to be great at this. I knew that being a real estate agent was going to be easy. Can I get more than one robot?
Did you see yourself there? Play, oh, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to call anybody. They just gonna call me. You really think they just gonna call you? No, no, they're not. You're actually gonna have to get out there and do some work. Here are our goals in this course. We're gonna learn to create a database. Yeah, he said he didn't need to do that. People just gonna come to him. I think my first database was a index card box. That was before computers. You just, every time you talk to somebody, you filled out a little index card on, put them in this box. And you need to flip through there and, well, I need to follow up with this one. That's what a database is going to do for you, but they're automated now. We're going to learn ways to prospect. He thinks they're just going to come to you. They don't. You've got to get out there and shake the trees so the nuts will fall off. And you'll be able to gather them up. Managing your time and your money. That's important in this. In the beginning, you've got more time than money. So you need to do things that are more time-based. One of the ways that you can develop a business base is called farming. And that's where you pick a geographical area, preferably near where you live, because you already know it and you don't want to be driving across town to show property, places you don't know. So you can work your farm, and let's just say you've got 500 houses in there and you want to contact all those people. Well, you can do like postcards and mailings. Well, it's about, 50 cents per? Get it out the door at least. So there's, a couple, $300 that you may not have. But you do have time. You can go in and start knocking on doors and leaving door hangers. Things that really don't cost money, but your time. And you may actually stumble over somebody. Occasionally somebody will come to the door. Nowadays they don't, but sometimes they may. And we're going to work on a business plan. The business plan, the database. You can't just mail something out one time and think, oh, well, that's all I have to do. You got to keep following up and keep mailing out. The neighborhood that I live in, there are 2 agents that work it as a farm. And about every 2 months or so, we'll get some kind of mailing from one or the other. I don't know if they're coordinated, so one will be like 1 month and the next, they may. But they'll tell you, well, here's what I can do for you. I've sold this many houses around you in the last so many months. I've done $20 million worth of, they're telling you what they can do for you. Let's just say I didn't know a real estate agent, but I'm getting this stuff every couple of months from these people saying, hey, I can sell your house. Well, when it comes time for me to sell my house, who am I going to call? I think I already know them. They've been sending me Hallmark cards for years. They've been doing this. But see, he's developing their pipeline to where I may not be ready now, but 2 years, 3 years from now, I've been there 15 years and they've been doing it, I know, since then. He spent a lot of money to get each listing, but you drive around the neighborhood and those are the 2 signs that you see the most, because they're working their farm. That's what that's called. In my neighborhood, it's a farm to him. And he's out there weeding it, feeding it, fertilizing it, and taking care of his farm. Sooner or later, somebody's going to want to sell. And they're going to call one of these 2 guys. I made them call. So you can sell a house faster than I can. Help me out here. But you're building a referral with that as well. Because let's just say I didn't know an agent and somebody said, I'm fixing to move. I need an agent. I would probably say, hey, well, these guys have been here a long time. They've sold a lot of property here. You might want to call them and refer that, to someone. That's really the way you will build your reputation and your business is through referrals without expecting anything back from it. If you know somebody that's doing something and somebody over here that does it, well, you can hook those two people together where you've made two people happy. And when you make somebody happy and help them, they kind of feel a moral obligation to reciprocate and help you out in some way. So since you're selling real estate and you hook them up together over here, they may think of you when their friend needs somebody to help them. We're going to work on how we segment database. Well, that's like a neighborhood. That's a segment. That's a little thing that we can work with. Software, that's the customer relationship management stuff. Most of them are subscription-based, cloud-based. But as you start building more and more people into your referral, say you've got this, you're going to work a 500 house community, you probably can't keep that in your head. You're going to have some kind of system that will remind you to do things. One of the things, and if you know something about the people, like their birthdays, or especially their kids' birthdays, if you sent their kid or their child a birthday card, you think they're going to remember you? The child's going to probably remember you too. And sooner or later, they're going to be buying a house. And how we use this database, kind of what we're doing here, our sphere of influence is who do you know? You know more people than you think you do. You just start sitting down and just making a list. All right, here's my family, here's my work, here's my church, here's my this club, that club. Everybody, all the way back to, I went to grammar school with these people. I wonder if they still remember me. Well, there's probably a Facebook page for your grammar school. You go search it, it's probably there. I found mine. Look at these kids' pictures. Oh, they're all old now. But I still remember their names. And if I start posting things on that website or their Facebook page, just, not trying to sell, just here's what's going on. Well, all of a sudden, if they're interested, they'll tune into that. And they may send me a message. Hey, I'm thinking about selling. You never know. Everybody buys and sells houses, several of them over their lifetime. The really successful agents have been in this business like 30 years. They're selling the grandkids of people they sold 30 years ago. They maintain that database, kept in contact with these people, and they're referring people to them. You don't just jump into this and start getting big checks. You've got to build it and work at it and keep working at it. Some of the things suggested here, floor duty, that's not a thing anymore. People don't call the office asking for information. They go on the web. They got your number, they calling you. The phone, our reception, we might as well not have a phone. Nobody calls the office number. Everybody's got a cell phone with their number. That's what's on your sign. The company's phone number's not on there. You don't want them calling the company. There's nobody there to answer the phone. You miss that call. Open houses, that's another way to pick up people. Niche marketing, well, let's just say you're in some kind of club. That would be a special little thing that you could work on and help them do something with your ulterior motive over here. You're wanting to do things for them, so they want to do things for you. Foreclosures, that's still probably 10% of our market. At one time, it was like half. Half the homes were foreclosures. That's a whole specialty area itself. And cold calls. We talked about do not call and pre-license. FSBOs, expires, those are FSBO, says for sale by owner, but that also means fastest source of business opportunity. Those people, well, they put a sign out in the front yard that said, help me. Said down at the bottom, said agents welcome. That means they don't have an agent and they're willing to pay you to bring them a buyer. Well, I didn't even have to get that listing. But I can treat it like mine. You can go to them and maybe convince them that your value proposition will sell their house faster than they can sell it. One of my favorite things is, do you know who you're letting in your house? Really? You're there by your house, by yourself, just you and the children, and you letting these strange people come in? Really? How much is your life worth? No. So what? I want to scare them and let me be the one that gets shot. More on our database, updating it. That's constant work. Working on that database. How do we follow up? Well, you want to contact people the way they ought to be contacted. Have y'all noticed that 20-year-olds are not calling you on the phone? No, they don't want to talk to you on the phone. It's going to be text with them. Different age groups. My age, I like the phone. I don't want to text. That's new technology to me. That's just confusing. Why don't you just call me? Personal contract, handwritten notes. That is something that if you've got pretty handwriting, people love. You took the time to write me a thank you note. Wow, I may just frame that, put it on the wall over here. Time management, balancing, it's like a juggling game. Around here, when we come in the morning, the day's kind of open until about 9 o'clock, and then it just, people start coming in. The phone's ringing, and texts are coming in, and emails are coming in, but you've got to balance all this stuff. You can't jump on your horse and ride off in all directions. You got to have a plan and work that plan. Be focused on it. Money. Don't expect to get a $10,000 check the first month, unless you already know somebody that's got a $500,000 house that they told you, as soon as you get your license, I'm going to let you list it. Not many people have that. Some do. But you're going to have to budget your money. You've got things that you're going to have to buy, like cards, licenses, signs. Those signs, the printer, that's his job to print signs, and he wants to get paid. So you got to think about all this. A lot of things you can get for free, like Facebook. That's going to be your probably best marketing tool, is Facebook. Because you know these people already, you got some kind of contact with them. They say you're your friend. I got 5,000 friends on my Facebook. I know maybe 30 of them.
Yeah.
And then plan ahead. Taxes. You are an independent contractor. And as an independent contractor, your broker's not cutting taxes out of your check. You brought in a check, they're going to cut their part off of it, and they're going to kind of trim off an edge over here and hand you the rest of it. You've got to remember that there are going to be taxes due next April, and I need to take a little bit of this, 10% or so, probably be enough for right now, and just put that over here and hide it from your husband. Because if he knows you've got some extra money, he's going to say, well, honey, can you help me with this bill? Plan ahead. Taxes, membership fees, education. You will never have enough classes. You'll be taking classes the week you know you're going to retire. You're probably still going to say, well, I'd sure like to have that class. And you go take it. You may learn something. Say, well, I'm not going to retire right now. I learned something new. I'm going to make $1 zillion. And what kind of equipment do you have? Most people now, if you've got a laptop and a cell phone, you're in business. All right, our business plan itself, what do you want to do? You want to be in residential, you want to be in property management, whatever it is you want to do, you want to kind of focus there and start building that model. Business environment research, that's a constant thing in this. Who's your competition? I tell you the competition that is coming, and that's the discount brokers. they're already, like out west, you know, well, out there, out west, a cheap house is 400,000 or 500,000. Well, it's kind of hard to say, can you pay me 5% on a $500,000 house? You know, it probably won't take me but 3 or 4 days to sell it. And do they want to pay you $30,000, $40,000? No, they don't. There are models out there saying, we'll take your listing for 1%. Well, 1% on a $500,000 house is a good check. It's coming this way. But here we got houses, I guess the range here, most of these sales are between about 100 and 200. That's probably the bulk of the sales. If you got a $100,000 house and you're only getting 1%, and you got to give your broker 90% of yours. No. You got expenses. All right, here we go. Let's see. Your services. It's called your value proposition. What is it I can do to help you sell your house? Because that's all they care about. How can you make it happen so fast that I don't have to think about firing you and getting another agent? And they will. You'll get the listing, and you told them it's a $199,000 house, but they insist it's the nicest one on the planet, and theirs is worth $250,000. Well, there hadn't been a house in this whole area to sell for $250,000. Why do you think yours is $250,000? It just is. We put this genuine imitation laminate down. We took out all those funny looking stainless steel and went down to a thrift store and got some appliances, but they think theirs is the best. And they're going to put you on it, and you got to sell it for $250,000. And you don't get any showings. And you, a month in, still haven't had a single showing because the other agents are pulling up the comparables, and they said, well, that was just way overpriced. And they don't even look at it. So 3 months into it, you've shown it twice and got an offer for $190,000. And then they say, well, you just don't know what you're doing. They fire you and hire the next person. What do you think that next one's going to tell them? Lower the price.
Yeah.
This is a $199,000 house. Why would you ever think it was worth? So the second one can talk to them that way. But you can't. You got to dance around, step on those eggshells. But they'll fire you and then hire them. Wow. Your personal promotion, distribution, marketing calendar, pricing. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Let's get started. The purpose of a business database. And instead of watching this little video, because we kind of took our time getting started here tonight, so some of these, you've got these links. When this, let's see, let me get it in slideshow mode here. When your PowerPoints, you can go on the website and get the PowerPoints. I'll download them to your computer, and then when you open it up in the slideshow mode, that last one we were on, we had the other slides down here. This won't be active. But if you put it in the slideshow mode, you can click on this and it'll take you, this is probably a point to agents. This is probably not a video. This is probably a list of things that you should be doing. There are a lot of companies out here, like this Point to Homes. They've got a lot of resources for you. And you can go there and look and see what they've got. But the purpose of a database is to organize everything you know about someone. Put them in the database, and you set up things there. We're going to get to some of the other programs to where it will tell you, you need to contact this person. You haven't contacted them in 30 days. It's time for you to send them a postcard, or it's time to send them something. You've got to constantly be touching them. The kind of rule of thumb is 8 times a year. I think more than that, and they're going to say, take me off your list. But if you got dropped down to 4, they may not remember you. But they say the happy number is about 8 times a year. Just let them know you're here. Just like the guys work in my neighborhood. I know they're there, but they don't want me to forget them because the other guy keeps sending stuff too. So that forces both of them to up their game. And we get stuff from them. Here's what's sold in the neighborhood. We think we could sell your house too. So the purpose of it is to organize everybody you know, and we're going to talk about who those people are, because you know more than you think you do. Gather them up and then start touching them. Building that referral-based business. Everything is about referrals in this business. You can't meet enough people to make a good living in this without other people helping you. You can't make enough money with just your hands. You got to have somebody else's hands helping you make money. And that's what a referral is. That's where one of these people that you have helped or you've developed a relationship with and they like you now, they have somebody that's going to do a real estate transaction. They're going to think about you and refer them to you. Then you've got them. And it's like a spider web. Each one you get is going to lead you to one or two or three or four more. You never know. If you do a good job, they're going to tell one or two people. But just that one or two may lead you to one or two more. And it just keeps growing out. Ways to segment your database. This may be based back on you may be in clubs or a church group or your choir group. There's some group of people that you know that have common something about them. And you can segment them based on their common thing. And maybe they all live in the same community. Maybe your farm. Well, that's the only thing you really know about these people is they live in this community. Well, that community is going to have probably a web page too. Facebook page. There's in our neighborhood, we've got one guy there that kind of runs the neighborhood little Facebook page. And stuff that's going on, he's on there posting. Well, the trash for December, they'll be picking up on the first and third Wednesdays. We get that kind of stuff. Well, if you could get in with him to where you could sponsor something or do something, have a little blurb on that web, on that thing where every now and then it pops up, you sold another house here, got another listing here, invite those neighbors around there to the open house that you're going to be having there. Well, that's that little segmented group that they're curious. There's a house in my neighborhood going up for sale. That looks just like my house. I want to go see it. When they have that open house, I'm going to go look at that one. Now, you're the agent there with that open house, and this nosy neighbor comes in to see why are they there? To find out what it's worth. Is this one really like mine? Can I get that much for my house? Okay, now you've got another name for your database. Now this one is a better name because you've had a contact with them now. And you can start working them. They've told you some things. You can work on what they told you. They may have said, you know, we're fixing to move to the other side of town. Got anything over that side? Well, they've just given you an invitation to help them. You don't get a lot of that. So when you get one, you want to work it. You just want to say, nah, I don't ever go over that side of town. Even if you don't, today may be the day that you'll start finding out about the other side of town. Then all of a sudden you find out, oh my goodness, I didn't know they built all these houses out here. This is really nice. And next thing you know, you're farming an area over there. You're going to go down a lot of roads in this business. Some of them are going to be dead ends. Some of them are not. Some of them you're going to turn that rock over and if somebody said, help me. I need an agent. Top producer. This is a database. It's called CRM, Customer Relationship Management. This one is a cloud-based subscription, and I think it's about $1 a day. Well, you can't keep a box of index cards organized for $1 a day. And this thing will organize everything you possibly ever wanted to know about these people, and send you reminders that you should be doing this, you should be doing that with these people. It'll actually, you can set this one up to where it'll print out your mailing labels for you. All these people that you should be sending birthday cards to this month, well, it'll tell you. It'll give you a list. Here's all the people with birthdays this month, and you can print a little address label. And then all you gotta do is stick it on the card and write a little note in there. I was just thinking about you. I was just thinking about you. I was just thinking about you. They don't need to know you think about other people too. As long as you're thinking about them. You'd be surprised people get a personal note like that and it has an effect on them. It does. And a birthday, didn't even know you knew my birthday. Okay, well, I do, because it's in my database. I didn't know. This one, Realty Juggler, is another database, and all their websites, their information's here. What you do with this is you start setting it up. This one is free. Limited things that you can do with it for free. But if you like it, then you can unlock other options. Then it's going to cost you a little bit. But nobody rides for free. That's just the way it is. They're in there to make money. But they want you to make money, because if you don't, if you're not using their service and making money from it, you're not going to use it. So they're going to have little webinar things. Do this. Try this. Have you ever thought about this? And then you try that, and that's just going to put you in deeper with them, and you will learn more, and then you'll expand it. And this one, like I say, it's free to begin, and then as you want to unlock more options, you can do it. Point to agent, this is another one. These people have a lot of stuff. It's point to agent, point to homes, and point to agent as well. Go there and just see what some of these different customer relationship management systems have to offer you. Some of them are really good. Some of them, you can get this thing set up, and then all you got to do in the morning is come in and hit a button and say, what I got to do today? Well, I got to print some labels and send some birthday cards off, and I need to do this, and it tells you. It'll give you a schedule for today. Here's the things you should be doing today to work your database. Because if you're not following up, and that is our number one issue in this business, is not following up. If you called me and said, hey, I'm thinking about a house over here, we're not going to move for 3 more months, but we're looking, and you say, okay, I'll send you some stuff over there, and you go in and you dig it off and you send them the stuff that's for sale over there, and then don't call them back. What's going to happen? They're not calling you back. You dropped the ball on that. These systems keep you from dropping the ball. Because if you drop that ball over there, that costs you a lot of money. That was a nice neighborhood. Those were $500,000 houses. I could have bought me a new car if I got that one. Who's in your database? We just asked me, who should be in your database? Friends, relatives,
family.
everybody you have ever met. Because once you get them in the database, then you start working the database, and we're going to get to the canned spam rules. We did this in pre-license. You remember, you send out solicitations, that's advertisements. You got to have a thing down there at the bottom that says unsubscribe, because that's the law. Well, if you start sending people stuff and they say unsubscribe, well, just take them out of your database. But you still got these others that are actually opening the email you sent them. You don't know if they're looking at the postcards and all. Trick on postcards while we're there. You want to have all your contact information and everything you want to tell them on both sides. You can squeeze down the part where you got the postage and the name and all that. You can squeeze that down to a small little section. You don't have to have that whole side blank with just their name on it. Because when they get this piece of mail and it comes into the house, it doesn't matter if it's upside down or this way, they're going to see what you're trying to tell them. So don't waste your postcards by just printing it on one side. But your database is going to be everybody you've ever met until they tell you, take me off. If they tell you that, take them off. You got 10 days to take them off that list, and then don't keep sending them stuff. But by now, you're growing your database. You've met some more people, and you're putting them in there, and you're working it. So everybody you have ever met, you can sit down and make you a list. Tonight, midnight, when y'all get home, because we're going to be here for another 5 hours, just start thinking, who all do I know? You can open this up and it'll give you some suggestions. And it's going to go, all the way back to grammar school. And that's funny, some people from grammar school still remember you in a good way. Some of them don't. But they still may buy a house from you. They may have forgot you used to pull their hair and do things to them. But you need to go all the way back, everybody you've ever met. And then as you start doing business and meeting people, just because you met somebody and they didn't want to buy a house right now, and just because it said no right now doesn't mean no a year from now. They probably know someone that does need your services. You always want to ask for referral. Who do you know that needs to buy or sell real estate right now or in the near future? And they'll say, Cousin Betty. They're getting transferred to Tennessee. Okay. Got Betty's number. Can I tell you? Gave me the number? Yeah. I'll call her for you. Boom, you got another one. That's how this works. Everybody buys and sells real estate. Some people buy a lot of it. Some people buy 3 or 4 houses a year. You want those people. Absolutely. Not in your database. You want a card in your phone speed dial. Hey, I just found another one over here. Because they do. There are people out here that just as soon as they get through with one deal, because they're flipping them. They're looking for a bargain all the time. Well, you're going to find bargains all the time. They're out there every day. The good ones are gone that first day. So you got to be watching, but if you've got somebody like that, you're going to work them. Every time you find something, does it really fit what they're wanting? Don't waste your time. But if it fits what they're wanting, let them know. Hey, I found one over here. It's a foreclosure. Just went on the market this morning. You want to go see it? They're going to say, yeah, before somebody else gets it. Growth standard, we're talking about how you grow it, because every time you talk to somebody, you're going to ask them, who do you know that needs my services? Everybody you know needs to know what you do. They say you go to the doctor's office. You talk to the person there. You talk to the doctor. You talk to everybody. I was talking to my doctor. He's fixing to buy Tesla. I think you making too much money. But I did talk to him about real estate.
Yeah.
I certainly did. And he's not in the market to buy right now, because I said, you're going to buy a Tesla. Well, I know he's at the right age. He needs to be buying rental property right now. And every time I talk to him, I see him like 2 or 3 times a year. Every time I talk to him, I'm going to get up a little closer to him, and we're going to start talking serious investing in real estate for rentals real soon. And within a couple of years, he's going to warm up to me. And then one day he's going to say, you know, I've been thinking about rental property. It's gonna be his idea.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, he'll buy one. And then he's gonna tell his other doctor friends with the extra cash, big bulging pockets.
Yeah.
They need to do something with that money. You know, that Tesla, you can buy you a house in Midfield, get 2 of them. But what that car is gonna cost you, that's gonna bring you in $1,000 a month instead of costing you $1,000 a month. That's where I gotta get him. But once he's there, he's in my database now. And I'm gonna work him, and I'm gonna work his friends when they start coming to me. That's how this business works. You cannot be a secret agent. You think it's embarrassing you to talk to your doctor about your job? No. No. You got him for 5 minutes. Let's spend one of it trying to make me some money.
Instead of taking all you.
Right, I'm making money too, right?
Then you get the bill from him and say, oh my goodness, I could have bought a rental house. Here's a YouTube video. Love YouTube. In fact, y'all out there in the internet land, right now, hit the subscribe button and the like button. That's how you get on it. Go on YouTube. Look how other people are doing it. There are a bunch of people successful in this business that you can watch how they're doing it, and they'll explain it to you, draw it out on the whiteboard, show you the slides. Here's how you're going to do it. And you say, oh, really? That's all there is to it? I got to actually pick up the phone and just make one phone call. That's all I have to do to get started. And that's what they're going to tell you. You can't sit at home watching Netflix expecting to make money in this business. Watching YouTube instead on how other people are doing it. And then go out and try it. That's like in the end of this course. You're not going to have a test. You're going to have a project. You're going to get up here and tell us how you would do a listing presentation. You'll learn all this watching other people do it. Watch them role play and see how they did it, when they ask questions, how they ask them. And you'll start reading how this all works. Because they want your help. They do. Buyers really want your help. Buyers, 80% of them say the number one reason we used a real estate agent is so they would negotiate on our behalf. Well, we're going to do negotiating one night. We're going to spend a whole night on negotiating. So you're going to be expert. 3 hours, you'll be expert on negotiating. Drive to Success, still more YouTube stuff. And this company, this Iman.com, they've got a ton of stuff. They've got newsletters. You just keep looking and you'll find stuff that you like and say, I can do that. And you're looking at another one, I can't do that. But I can do this. Let me try that and see how it works. Might not work the first time, but don't give up. It's like you talk to somebody in the grocery store line, they're talking about real estate, and they say, yeah, I want to use you as my agent, and then you don't call them back, and you think, well, that didn't work. Well, it would have worked had you followed up. Success is not a one-shot deal. It's a long road. Sphere of influence. We just talked about that. Your sphere of influence is your close friends first. That's your closest friend. They're the ones that already like you. Some of them do. And then there are others. The next ring out, those are probably your relatives. They don't like you as well. One for the family reunion, they wouldn't even be around you. But they still need to buy real estate, and you're the only agent they know. They gonna call you. Well, I'm sorry about what I did to you last year at the family reunion, but I need your help. Just because they've never done anything with it doesn't mean they don't want to. Just reaching out and letting somebody know this is what I do. This is your job now. Really, seriously, this is your job. Treat it like one. get up in the morning, dress like you going to work, and then go do stuff. You're not gonna make any money coming into the office and sitting and chatting with other agents. They're not buying anything from you. Really, they're not.
Yeah.
That's true.
More on the sphere of influence. This is on prospecting. Just always, when you've got time, because it'd take you 10 hours to look through all these videos and just see what we're hitting here as we go through this. Oh, here's the big one. Facebook. Now, seriously, that is how a lot of people, that's all they do. It's Facebook marketing. You can now, when we put a listing in the MLS, there's a little button over there, share on Facebook.
Mhm.
Oh no, I don't want to do that. Somebody might buy it. Yeah, you click share to Facebook, and it's going to pop up on your Facebook. Facebook advertising, we talked about that in pre-license. On the what's that called, masthead at the top where it's got all your stuff up there, you gotta have your brokerage name and the contact information for the brokerage. It's just like any other advertising. Facebook is just another medium. So the same rules apply to Facebook that apply to newspaper or your cards or anything. It's got to be truthful. Your name's got to be on there, and it's your Facebook page, so your name's on there. But you've got to add the brokerage name on there. Because if you're posting your listings and they're just automatically going over there, then you've got to disclose that this is a real estate company. But Facebook is where you're gonna, you'd be shocked how many people are on there just looking. And real estate, they're looking for real estate information. It's just like car sales and furniture sales. If you're in the market for a car or furniture or a mattress, you see every ad that anybody's got, Facebook or newspaper, if you are in this business, you want your stuff to be out there. So if they are looking for real estate services, there it is. And they can contact you right from the Facebook page. Message you right there. Call me. LinkedIn. Don't have as much success with LinkedIn. LinkedIn's more of a business to business. I've never had anything business come to me from LinkedIn. Usually LinkedIn, everything on there, somebody's trying to sell you something. So now you can go there and look though. Y'all got LinkedIn pages?
I had one, but
Yeah, it's just you. Well, why?
yeah,
I'm not getting anything out of this.
right.
Facebook, different. Facebook, you know, and I'm going to tell you something here that you probably didn't know. Everything on Facebook is true.
I don't believe that one.
No.
Your ads will have to be true.
Right.
That's one of the things on advertising, got to be truthful. Another source, Realtor.org. They've got a ton of stuff on there. You don't have to actually be a realtor to get onto a lot of their stuff and look. But if you are a realtor, then you can get more stuff out of it. This one is a field guide to farming. Well, it's just going to tell you, you got to get out of your house and go out and talk to people. Whether you're going out and knocking on doors because you don't have any money up front and trying to catch somebody, and you may. What if you had, a couple of hours this afternoon that you could have gone to your favorite neighborhood and just knocked on some doors and met just one person that said, hey, we're fixing to sell this house. You came at the right time. Oh my, it can happen. Now you've got something to do. You've got a listing now. You're going to work on marketing it. You're going to, if this is your farming neighborhood, you're gonna let everybody around there know. Now you got all these other people you gotta talk to. And you got a reason to talk to them now. We just listed this one. It's just like your house. We're gonna have an open house this weekend. Come on. And then they pick up another one. It's a constant grind. It's not like, you know, a real job. This one you actually have to think and do things on your own without somebody else saying, well, your task for the day, I want you to do all this filing, and you just fill out all these forms, and your lunch is at 12, and you go home at 4. No. Your broker is going to help you in any way he can, but he's not going to tell you, hey, you got to go do this. You got to do what you're comfortable with. And if you're not comfortable talking to people, you might want to stay in that other job. Because this one, you got to talk to people, and every single one of them is saying, help me. That's what they're saying, help me. Whether it's the seller, he didn't know how to sell his house. He bought this one 20 years ago. Didn't know anything about selling it. He thinks he can do it himself, but then once he thought about it, he said, nah, I probably don't want to do that. Because I've got a real job and I don't have time to stay home every day waiting on somebody to look at it. So they're saying, help me. And that's your job, is to help them. But it's in a farm. I keep coming back to this farm. You got to have something that you're working on. More advice on this is realestatetrainer.com. There are so many places you can go and get ideas. You'll get too many ideas. You'll get overloaded with ideas. But you got to focus. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to work my neighborhood. The community that you live in, that's where you probably want to start. You already know some of those people. Hey, I got my real estate license. You know anybody who wants to buy or sell a house? It may be corny, but they may know somebody. And if you didn't ask them, you'll never know. They're going to tell somebody that did ask them. Can't be a secret agent. More on farming is more YouTube. You can probably watch 1,000 hours of farming videos on YouTube. But this was talking about geographic farming, and that would be like a neighborhood. And I always think you should not, I will say, our office right here in the middle of Hoover, well, there are plenty of farms right here. We could just walk out the back door of the office and there's a community right on the other side of the trees. We could walk over there in our lunchtime, because we get 2 hours for lunch here. We could walk over there and just knock on some doors. Hey, we just opened a real estate office right over here. You can see our office from your back door. That may be enough to bond them to you right there. Now they know who's over there. When they think about real estate, who they gonna think about? They've already met the people that work over there. They may come over here at lunchtime and say, what y'all got for lunch? They think they know you, but that's my point is, you got a little time, an hour, use it. You've got to develop this database. Floor duty, I already mentioned this. Floor duty is a thing of the past. I worked at Keller Williams in 2007, the only office they had here at that time, doing a lot of business. We had probably 100 listings in that office. And I said, well, I'll do Saturday, because nobody else wanted to come in on Saturday. They wanted to be there in the week. I said, I'll do Saturday. So for like 6 months, I sat at the reception desk at the biggest Keller Williams office, and the phone never rang. When it did ring, it was somebody saying, is Agent so-and-so here? Well, no, they're not here. It's Saturday. They're at the lake. Can I take a message? And so after a while, you realize that floor duties probably not real productive for you. Now, if you had an office that had, 100 or 200 listings, you could do floor duty, but have it forwarded to your cell phone. So you can still do what you were gonna do. There's really not point in going in that office and sitting and waiting on a phone call. They already got their agent's number in their cell phone. They're not calling the office. Open house, this is where your money's better spent, or time, I should say. What you're gonna do in an open house, well, let's just say you've got an agent in your office that's got 2 nice listings that they, by mistake, told both the owners, oh yeah, I'm gonna do an open house this weekend. Uh-oh, now they made a commitment to their seller, saying I'm gonna do an open house, but they can only be in one of them. Gotta have a licensed agent in an open house. You can have a security person there with you. You don't have to do it by yourself. But if you're doing an open house, the neighbors are the first ones that are coming. And those are the ones you're after anyway. You already know the neighborhood, you know the price. Yeah, this is the price I don't want to be selling. And the nosy neighbors are going to come around. We used to tell the flyer box. You could put out, 20 or 30 flyers in the box. The first weekend, they're all gone.
Yeah.
And then you can look, oh man, I need to put 50 in there next time. And then the next week, they're all still there. Because it was the neighbors checking this out. Yeah, so if you don't put the flyer box out there, but have an open house, you're going to force them to actually come in and talk to you. So you thinking about selling your house? Well, yeah, we have been thinking about it. About when? Well, gonna be retiring the end of next year, and we probably want to do it right about then. You got somebody now for your database at least that you're going to keep following up on, and you're going to find out where they're moving, because you want to help them with that too. Well, they're moving to Nashville. Well, you're not going to Nashville to sell houses, but you can refer them to an agent in Nashville and get part of the commission just for a phone call. Love this job. But the open house, that's time well spent. You're not going to sell that house. Just don't want to disappoint you. You're going in there and ready to sell, and you got all your contracts with you. The people that are coming in there are just shopping. They're looking, versus the neighbors wanting to find out what their house is worth. And there's other people just coming through, well, yeah, I like this, but oh man, it's just too much work to do here. But they're looking. Well, what is it you are looking for? Well, this is a 3, we need a 4-bedroom. Okay, I like that even better. And we want a 2-car garage. Okay, and by what price range? Yeah, this is about right. Okay, you got kids, got a school system we need to be thinking about. Now you're pinning them down. Yeah, we got to stay in the Hoover system or whatever system, because their kids are in that system already and they want to keep them in there, but they need a bigger house. You're getting information. Maybe a field on your database that says people looking for 4-bedroom houses. Then you can set that up to where every time a new 4-bedroom house comes on the market, these people get an email with a link to the information on that listing. That alone is one of your touches. You keep touching them with this, and they've seen 3 or 4. Oh my goodness, the prices are going up every month. We better buy now. Y'all see how this works? It's a fun game. You're constantly working it and trying to figure out the angle to win the game. This is open house usually. It's one of those funny ones. This is a guy that comes in and he really just wanted to use the bathroom. But that's why he came in the open house. Maybe funny to
Come
watch.
for all reasons, huh?
Open house scripts. Scripts, you can get these. Hard for you to talk like someone else. But they'll give you the script. Here's how you should, here's the process. Here's what you're asking them. You're trying to find out, is the school system important? Well, you're narrowing it down. You want to get it down tight, tight, tight to where you know pretty much exactly what they want. And that's what this is all about. You're trying to tighten it down. Open house ideas. This is about, let's just say you want, you've listed a new $500,000 house. Well, first thing you want to do is find out who the agents are that sell $500,000 houses. You can look in the MLS and pick them out. There's not that many. Well, you want to actually call them and say, hey, I've got a new listing over here in an area you sell in, price range you sell in. And it's going to be open next Sunday. If you've got any buyers, bring them on. Okay, well, you've done what you should do there. You may want to do an agent open house to where you're not in a $500,000 house, you're in a $250,000 house. This neighborhood, well, you want to look who other agents have listings in this area. And you want to contact them. Hey, we're thinking about doing an agent open house next Tuesday. Because that's usually when agents, the big offices, will have their sales meetings. And they're in there, they have their sales meeting, and then they're looking for 11 o'clock because sales meeting's over and it's time to eat. And they're getting faxes in that morning from agents like us that we're going to have this agent open house and we're going to have food and we're going to have some gift cards. We're drawing for some gift cards. The only way you're going to get agents to come to your open house is give them something. And they want food and money. So that's what you're going to give them. But there you're going to do an agent open house and you're going to get these other agents to come into your listing and look at it. And you say, oh, Betty and Bill are looking for something just like this. I'm going to call them right now. I've seen it happen. And Bill and Betty, or whoever it was, they're on their way right now. Coming over, you didn't know that was going to happen. But now they had a buyer though. But the people that are working this, they've got buyers. As you get into this, you will collect people that are saying, hey, I'm looking for. And then you work them. Another funny house, open house, you gotta have a little break every now and then from the routine to do some funny stuff. And speaking of break, let's go ahead and take our break. We're gonna usually do one break. Our sessions are 3.5 hours, and usually we're going to come in about halfway through. We'll take a 15-minute break, and then that way we'll refresh, come back, and we'll be ready to go again.
Okay.
And we'll be through in about another hour and a half or so. Okay, let's take a break. Here we go. Back from break. That's where we were. Let's move on to the next one. Niche markets. Another referral to Realtor. This is instead of Realtor.com, this is RealtorMag.Realtor.org. Or you can just click on it and it'll take you there. This is talking about finding what it is you really want to do. Do you want to, work a certain price range? Because once you start working a price range, there's a lot of common stuff there. The people are the same, or kind of the same. Everything about the area, you've learned this area. Well, there's a new Walmart going up, there's a Starbucks going up, this is happening. You know your little area. Or if it's your little group, you know them, you know what they're looking for, how they think. You just get more focused. That's a niche. It's bringing it down to a small point. Oh my goodness, foreclosures. This is off to Wells Fargo. The one I like best is HUDHomestore.com. And from there, you can like click on the state and then click on the county. If you want to, you can get down to just the city. And it has all the HUD, those were the ones that they took back. And there'll be hundreds of them on there.
Hood, what is it?
Yeah, it's just the initials, HUD, and then the word home store. And you'll go there, you don't need, there's a lot of places that you go to theirs and you sign up and pay them a little money and then they'll link you over there. Y'all gonna skip the middleman there and just go straight to HUD Home Store. May have it on there, don't think so. Foreclosures usually will be a better value, but a lot of times you'll have more repairs to do. Because the people that moved out, they have not been taking care of the house. Haven't been making the payments. There's a lot of things. They may not have changed the air conditioning filter in a year. They didn't have the money. So you may have to have a lot of work done on a foreclosure. But as a rule, they're a good value. And some of your buyers that you will hook up with, especially these flippers, that's what they want. They don't want to buy the house that's already been done. This is where they want to go, foreclosures. Give me those. Cold calls, this FSBO, for sale by owner is what it stands for, but it really means fastest source of business opportunity. That's actually going to be your assignment for between now and next week. Y'all got a whole week to go out and talk to a for sale by owner. Oh, gonna get you out of your comfort zone. That's the only way you're gonna do it though. You have got to actually go up and knock on the door, because we got the, not on this one, but the do not call list for sale by owner. You may have the sign out there, it says for sale by owner, agents welcome, but he may be on the do not call list. And if he is, don't call him.
So how do you find out if he's on the call?
You can go to the do not call list and put in his number. And if it's there, it'll turn up. You can call a for sale by owner if you actually have a legitimate buyer. But you can't call them. So I worked the area and we sold 14 houses here in the last week, and we're looking for more just like yours. Well, that's just a solicitation. And that you'd be crossing the line, and you could be reported to the do not call, and there's a $11,000 fine.
Ooh.
Ooh. We had a guy I worked with in an office back in, it'd be 06. That's all he did was call for sale by owners. Every for sale by owner on the market, I don't know how he was finding them all. I think people were calling him. I saw one in my neighborhood, and he would call every one of them. And I asked him, I said, how about the do not call list? Yeah, better ask for forgiveness and permission. I said, oh, no, I can't do $11,000 too many times. But he got 20 listings the first month.
Wow.
Just talking to for sale by owners. What he did is, because you're for sale by owners, what do you think they've got it on? Why do you think they're trying to sell it themselves?
No, pay commission.
They don't want to pay a commission. That's exactly right. So what do you think he did?
I don't know.
He offered to do it for less
free?
commission,
Oh,
not for free.
okay.
That's his job. But he would approach him, I understand why you try to sell it yourself. And then you'd find out, well, it is the commission. All right, well, how about if we list your house for 1%, and then you offer a selling commission out of whatever you want to offer, 2.5, 3, 10, whatever you want to offer the selling agent to bring a buyer. Well, if you list the house, pretty much the only work you're really doing is putting a sign up there and putting it in the MLS. What else you doing? You could do an open house, you could show it every now and then, but it's these other agents that are doing the work. They're bringing the buyer to you. You're sitting here and you pretty much got you a 1% that you just almost had put in your pocket. You got 1% for doing very little work. They're gonna bring the buyer to you. They're lining up the closing because that's their job. You just pretty much from this point, you're gonna go to the closing table and get your check. So this is an excellent way to get going in this business.
So you get the 1% for listing.
Well, that's what he was doing.
But
You do what you wanna do. You can say, you know, I'm not doing it for under 10%.
Yeah.
Well, you might as well not stop there.
But would you still get the commission, splitting the commission with the other agent at the closing?
Well, what you would do is you would take, let's just say you're gonna offer 3 to the selling agent, because he's got a sign out there that says agents welcome. And he's probably offering either 2.5% or 3%, maybe 4% that he's offering an agent to bring him a buyer. Well, what you're gonna do for him is you're gonna expose him to everyone. You can put him in Zillow. You're putting him in MLS. So these other agents will find him. Other agents that are out with buyers, chances are they're not even gonna show a for sale by owner. They're afraid of him. They don't want to talk to him. So that's why I'm gonna start y'all off right by not being afraid of him. That's your assignment. Let's make it next Wednesday night. So that gives you a whole week now to talk to one. Just go up and knock on the door. Said, you know, I'm a real estate agent. I work this area. You might as well be working that area. So I work this area, and may I see your home? You think he's going to say, oh no, I don't want any real estate agents looking at it? No, he's going to invite you in and tell you everything about the house, and you're quizzing him all along. Well, why do you think it hasn't sold? Well, it hadn't sold because I can't get on the MLS. I can help you.
Do you tell them at that point? or-
Absolutely, I can help you.
Okay.
It's my job to help you. Because if it's not on the MLS, the other agents are not seeing it. The public can go on Realtor.com and Zillow, because everything we put on MLS goes there.
Okay.
You can go on, well, if you were looking for a house, would you call an agent or would you go on Zillow?
Internet first.
Internet first.
Yeah.
Our job has gotten so much easier. That's why the commissions are starting to come down. It's because we're not having to do as much work. Well, here this guy, he picked up 20 listings in 1 month that he's getting 1% off of each one of them. That's a good job.
Yeah.
You figure average, I think the average sale price in Birmingham is probably $150,000, $175,000. Well, he's picking up $1,500, $2,000. And all he did was make a phone call, go visit the place, made some pictures, put a sign out, put it in the MLS. I can do a few of those for $1,000. In fact, I'd love to get $1,000 for every one I've ever done. Yeah. But FSBO, that's what you're going to do. You're going to go meet you a FSBO in the next week and just talk to them. Hey, I'd like to see your house. You don't have to tell them you've got a buyer. I'm an agent. I'd like to see your house. Well, I'd rather not have it with an agent. Well, I still like to see your house. Oh, okay. Now we're talking. And you let them talk. You just keep asking them open-ended questions. Tell me more about the house. How long you been here? Oh, this is just beautiful flooring. Yeah, we did that ourselves. My knees still hurt. But you're getting them talking. You're developing a relationship, rapport. And had you not stopped there, you wouldn't have gotten that far. Now, he may warm up to you and say, well, how can you help me? And then you gotta be ready. Yeah, a little elevator speech. Here's what we can do for you. We're gonna bring in a professional photographer or whatever you want to. I got my iPhone. I can professional picture. And that's another, while we're here, pictures. You going on Zillow, that's where you're looking. If you don't like that first picture, are you looking at the second one? No. You're just gonna click on the next house. But if they got good pictures, you'll keep looking at the pictures. That's the key to this. Here's something that we do to find business. We will go to properties that have been on the market for at least a year and have not sold. All right, that seller's ready for a new plan. And that's where we start. Is it time for a new plan? Well, it may be, and they may be thinking that. Well, here's what we can do for you. Here's what we can do. So we're after rental properties. And if it's been on the market for a year, they're ready to do something else. It may be priced. They can't sell it for anything less than what they're asking for, but the market's not going to give them that. Well, I can come in and say, hey, I can put someone in your property that we're going to screen and collect the rent. We're going to do everything. And maybe in a year or two, when the market comes back, you can sell it. And by that time, we've developed a relationship with them, and we may be the one getting the listing. But see, this is a postcard. We just send them out. We'll go through the MLS and we just pull up a list of all of them that have been on the market for over a year, and then we'll do other parameters. We don't want anything under 100,000. Don't want anything over 300,000. Those people are not renting their house. Those houses you don't want to fool with. So we got a little sweet spot in here. That's niche. That's what you're looking for. I want this, and then what area do we really want to work in? There are some companies that they won't want anything but Hoover. They don't want to go to Homewood. They don't want to go to Chelsea. They don't want to go anywhere except right here. And if you can get enough business by doing something like this, well, if I don't want to go to, say, Tuscaloosa, I'm not sending any of these to Tuscaloosa. I'm sending them just to the areas I want to get houses. See, this will lead to a property management house for us, and then later on, a listing.
Can we get some of those from you?
Sure, sure. I got a stack of them in there.
Okay.
We get them from Vistaprint, and they're cheap.
Will I be able to put my name and stuff on it?
Well, it's already got ours printed on there, but
Your office, who going to your phone?
well, that Greg answers that one, and a voicemail thing answers that one.
Okay.
But we can print some up for you.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see how you
Yeah, put your contact information on it. If they call me, I'll say, no, I don't know her. As you more on FSBOs. Here's the next one. Expired listings. All right. It's been on the market for 3 months, 6 months, 9, whatever they had it on the market, and they've lowered the price maybe a couple of times, and it expired. Well, you can pull up every day. You can pull up a list, or actually you can have the MLS send you an email every day of the expired listings, because they expire, most of them at the end of the month. But you can get that list, and they're expired now, so they don't have a relationship with another agent. As long as they're listed with another agent, you got to leave them alone. You can't call them and say, I know why it's not selling, it's because of that other agent. No, you get in big trouble for that.
Yeah.
But once it expires, this open season, their agent may not even know it's expired. Seriously. They got a bunch of listings, and this one, they hadn't been getting any action on it. They forgot all about that one. Been on the market 6 months, and it fell off. And then you call the owner and So why do you think it hasn't sold? So that's always a good question, because they'll tell you, it was the agent. No, it wasn't the agent, it was the price. It's always the
So
price.
do you tell the owner that?
Well, you want to get them to tell you.
Mhm.
Why do you think it hasn't sold? Well, it's a rat hole for one thing. You know, we've actually got rats in here. I can see them in here right now.
Well, they weren't expecting it to see them.
Yeah.
The number one rule is going to be price.
Mhm.
It's overpriced. Well, if they owe, and see in the last decade, prices slammed down, and they're just now getting back to where they can sell, but they still may owe more on it than they can really sell it for now. Well, if it's price, well, what can you bring it down any? You're just talking to them, just trying to gather information. How can I help you? Well, it may be the rats. It may be the place really, yeah, they're hoarders. There's a lot of reasons a house hadn't sold. Chances are it's price. And you can get over that hump, then you can start getting it marketed for them. This is just 3 different videos on how to work expireds, how to talk to them, what to look for. Back and see YouTube, part 1, 2, 3. There's our do not call registry. You can click on there. There's their website as well. Before you call that for sale by owner. But once you walked up to his door and talked to him, now we've got a relationship. I can call you for 18 months now. Every day if I want to. Better not.
Yeah.
But once you get the listing, they are going to want to call you. They're going to want to know what's going on. We put one on the market Sunday, and as I was getting in my car, I said, I want you to call me when you're going to do any showings. Okay. We got 3 lined up for tomorrow. So we're going to send him an email saying we got 3 lined up for tomorrow, and just let him know. Because a lot of them, if you just let them know what's going on, they're happy. It's when they don't know, they're not happy. Do not call registry. Always check and make sure that they're not on there. But once you have a relationship with them, that doesn't count. Oh, this is an attorney talking about the do not call registry. And he'll scare you. I got 3 whole videos of him scaring you about don't just call them. Here's our canned spam. These rules are on your email. You can't just, because you're going to get a lot of email addresses. They're going to be in your database. And you send this out, you've got to have an unsubscribe button down at the bottom. Y'all seen them. You got stuff that said you don't want to receive any more of these emails, just click here. Well, you're going to have to set it up in your email, and you can do that for return on your email, automatic return, where it'll send you that email. They click there and it just sends you an email saying take these people off. And there's their email. Go back in your database and take their email off. You got 10 days to do that, but don't keep them on that list. And we do that. Occasionally we'll do an email blast, and on Gmail you can only do 200 emails a day. I didn't know that, but we tried to send out 1,000 one day. Gmail, no, we can't do that. But just trim it down to 200, and then you may get 1 or 2 of those back that should take me off your list. You don't know why. It couldn't have been anything you said, because all you're doing is just being nice. But their wife may be a real estate agent, or their mother, they may be an agent. Like I was talking earlier about the guy, there are 2 agents working my neighborhood. Well, they're sending stuff to me. There's no way I'm going to list my house with one of them. It's just not going to, I don't care how good they are.
Yeah.
They can give me what's that, was one agent here a few years ago, if you list your house with me, I'll give you a cruise.
Mm.
Well, if they gave me a cruise, I might think about it. But chances are, I'm not gonna use them.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna, if they don't send me emails, everything they do is postal.
Mm.
Usually it's a postcard. There's a little video on the canned spam. Alright, there are a lot of people out here now that will do your work for you for a little bit of money. You can get a virtual assistant for just almost nothing. They're in the Philippines. And they don't have to really speak good English. You just are sending them tasks to do, to send out these blast emails, send out every 3 days you need to be sending something to my people here, contacting them some way, through email, sending them something. There's a company in Atlanta that, I don't know if that may be the people, cold call service. They'll do it for you. They'll make you cold calls for you. Next door over here is a mortgage company. They've got 2 people over there that work full time making cold calls.
Wow.
All day. I just would die. But some people, they're good with it. They like that. All I got to do is talk to people all day long. That's a good job.
You don't care, they hang up on you.
I think you were here when that big guy came in earlier. Were you here then?
Today?
Yeah.
Mm.
No? Okay. He comes over here all the time. I think trying to get away from the phone. But I don't know, every week or so he'll bring me 3 or 4 sheets like this with people's names on it, to where he's talked to them and he's trying to sell them a mortgage. Well, he's talking to people that if they need a mortgage, chances are they're buying a house. Well, they're not a real estate company.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll bring these over to us and say, I got you a few more. We're not allowed to pay him for those. Remember, that's RESPA violation there. But he's just giving them to us.
That's good.
Some of them will pay out. Most of them won't. But we've got a person here, we've got a phone number, and as I get these, I give them to the agents, and they'll call. I said, well, I called all 4 of them, and I couldn't get any of them on the phone. I left voicemails. They're not calling you back now, just because you left a voicemail. You probably gonna have to call them back again. But see, you've got a relationship here. They've already said, I'm looking for your services.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's how we kind of get some leads. But the outsource, these people are doing just what they're doing. They're sitting somewhere and just calling people. This is constant. You're updating every time you meet somebody new, you got to open the database up, put their stuff in it. But you only have to do it one time, and it's in there. And then whatever you're trying to do, drip campaign, whatever, the database is going to tell you it's time to send these a card of some kind. And these things they'll give you a list of things you should be sending, like around Halloween, something about Halloween or Thanksgiving or some of the holidays. Birthdays, that's what they really love, because they're not getting any birthday cards since they were 12 years old. Now all of a sudden this person's sending me a birthday card. I like you. It's more of a follow-up. I told you earlier, if you don't follow up, you might as well not even be doing it. You made the contact, you've got somebody, you've talked to them, you know what they want, but you're just so busy watching Netflix, you don't have time to call them. You get rid of the Netflix subscription, take that time and get on the phone or get on emails. But the follow-up, that is where most people drop the ball. And it's not the second call or the third. The average is the 7th contact before you actually produce anything. So A lot of people give up after the first one. Most will give up after the second one, and if they don't hear, if I don't get something by the third, I'm not calling you anymore. But you're only halfway there. You gotta call them 7 times. Whew. But what else you got to do? Unless you're out showing property, you need to be on the phone calling people and following up. Well, it just, there's a brand new one that came up that just what you're looking for. Really? Where is it? It's just on this street right here. Why don't you drive by and see if that's kind of what you're looking at. If it is, I'll get you an appointment and get you in. Because you know the only reason they call us now is we got a key. They can find out everything about that house
That's true.
on the internet. I mean, right down to everything.
That's true.
The only, you got a key, or else they would not be calling you. Because they don't really want to talk to you. Because you're a salesperson. The last salesperson they talked to sold them something.
That's true.
We'll follow
Some more.
up. Handwritten notes. I have never done this because my handwriting is just awful. But if you got nice handwriting, I would say do this. This has a big impact on people. Thank you for, allowing me to show you the houses this weekend. I'm looking forward to working with you or helping you or whatever you want to talk about. This is your balancing work and personal life. That is a hard thing to do in this business because this is not a 9-to-5 job. They don't start calling you until they're off work. They don't call you during the day. They get off work at 5 o'clock. You get more phone calls between 5 and 7 than you will all day long. So you can't just say, well, I'm not answering the phone after 5. Well, no, I won't work. You got to be ready to do it, and they're going, when they want to see it, it's not next week. It's, can we do it tomorrow? My parents are going to be in town this weekend, and they want to see all the houses we've been looking at. Can you show me all of them again? It'll happen. There's always somebody else. After they've decided and everybody, yeah, this is what we want, then there's somebody else that needs to come look at it. Uncle Henry, we used to call him. Uncle Henry needs to come look at it because he was a builder.
Yeah.
And he knows everything about houses. Yeah, he needs to look at it. He said, he's looking at the pictures on Zillow. That wall kind of looked crooked in the basement. He wants to look at it himself before you buy this house. But the only time he can meet with you is Sunday afternoon at 3. All right, well, you're going to have to balance what was it I was going to do at Sunday at 3, and do I want to go deal with Uncle Henry? Well, I've already got 10 hours invested in this. Do I just want to blow it off and go to the football game? No, it's Sunday afternoon. What do I want to do? Go to the lake on Sunday afternoon. It's like this. Our job here, when we come in, there are things that I've got to do every day. I've got to do this, do that, but then the phone will ring or an email will come in, and all right, now, well, like the house we put on the market Sunday, it's a rental. Rentals go really fast. A week, 2 weeks, it's gone. So these people that have called us, they want to see it right now. We just got all that. Today's what, Tuesday? They're all lined up for tomorrow morning between 9 and 11. I'm going to show all 3 of them. A lot of times it's good to box them all in at the same time so that it puts pressure on them. They say, oh no, other people want this. We better get it now. But this one's going to rent. So we've got them kind of 15, 20, 30 minutes apart. And Greg's actually going to show them because I'm going to be down there at Timberline on the one you sent me to. But neither one of those things were on our schedule this morning. Well, yours was.
Yeah.
That's why Greg's having to go do those. But it's just, you're juggling all the time. You'll miss some games. And you'll miss some things. You'll miss, but Netflix, you can go back and watch it anytime you want, so I don't have to do that today. Y'all remember back on TV, you planned your week around the show that I want to watch is on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
I gotta be home at 8 o'clock on Tuesday night.
They do there more.
Where to spend your time. This is Bill, and this, back to this, you've seen this one already. They just have lots of articles on this, and that's what this is basically. Where do you spend your time? Where you'll learn what's productive for you. We've learned, where to spend our time. We've learned, don't just go out to Midfield and start knocking on doors out there looking for rental houses. Because we can rent them all out there. Every owner out there is wanting somebody else to handle their rental. But no, we don't want to do that. We want to handle, we want to handle the $200,000 rentals, not the $50,000 rentals.
Yeah.
It's the same amount of work.
Yeah.
So where do we spend our time? We want to develop the market where we're going to get the best return on our time. That's not. So when we started, we were there. We took anything we could get. But then as you grow and you start saying, okay, I don't have to do that anymore. But I needed a whole lot more of this. Because these are harder to get. The owners will thank you. Here you got to work a little more, but how do you spend your time? Where, how, all the time. This is the other task. You think you're working and being productive because you come in at the office and you sit down, you opened up your laptop. Well, I better check Facebook first, see what everybody's doing. You're not making any money there. Don't be wasting your valuable work time playing on Facebook and clicking on the clickbaits. Y'all seen them over there? Clickbait. Here's how you can make $1 million just doing Google ads at home. And you start clicking over there, I need $1 million, and you click on that, next thing you know, it's an hour later. You didn't make any money either. You should be calling people on your database, because of your 8 touches, a couple of them need to be phone calls. Maybe today's you need to block it out because you can't call all of them today. You've only got a little bit of time. They say, eat the frog first. Do the thing you don't want to do first. And with most people, that's picking up the phone and calling somebody. So that's eating the frog. So first thing in the morning, you start eating that frog, because it's never going to taste good, and you're never going to want to make that next call. But you got to. Okay, personal and business finances. Takes money. And it takes money to make money. Y'all have already got money invested in this, and you've not got a penny back yet. You got time invested. Hadn't come back to you yet. But you're feeling good. Things are good. I'm just right on the edge of getting a check. It could happen any day now. But getting in here, you can't overspend. Like your farm, you say, well, I don't want to work. All right, you're in Camden Lake. You may want to work Camden Lake as a farm. It's not that big. You got, 100, 200 houses? You could walk around that neighborhood and meet everybody in there. That's good time spent. That's personal contact. You're building a relationship with them. You're putting them in your database, and you're following up. That's good time. That will bring you money back, and you really didn't spend any money. You just went and knocked on the door and met them. Hey, I live in the neighborhood. I know this neighborhood. And I'm a professional licensed real estate agent. Big or I guess real estate agent initials. May say agent.
RDA.
Yeah, I can do it. I can jump over tall contracts.
Kate.
More about budgeting. Y'all know how to budget. That means don't spend more than you're taking in and have a little reserve. So like you want to start sending these people a mailer just to test it, see how it works. And I got an extra $50. Well, I can buy 100 stamps with $50. Aren't they 50 cents now? I can get 100 stamps. Well, maybe that'll be a good experiment. It's a little budget item, but I'm gonna work that in my budget for next month, or this month if I got the money. And let's get that on out there. And maybe your rule of thumb is 1% return. And if you can get a 1% return, and that one person that you talked to, you listed their house, now you got a bunch of budget money next time to do more mailings. You might want to look at the next community over from you and start farming that one too. Now you got twice as many people and you're putting more in your database. And some of them are going to tell you because you're walking around talking to them. And I would suggest don't do it by yourself. Go with somebody. You know, your son or well, you've got two people that know the business. Get one of them to walk with you. And because you don't know what you're going to walk up to them. We're going to talk about agent safety in another session, but it was about 10 years ago. We had 4 agents shot in Birmingham.
Oh my gosh.
About 3 years ago, we had an agent murdered in Roebuck, taking an earnest money check to the office at 9 o'clock at night. Like a broker said, get it to me immediately. And now she's dead. Husband was sitting in the car. They thought this woman was taking money into the real estate office and it was a check. He got killed over a check. So agent safety is something we're going to come back around to, but right now we're on budget, so it's, don't budget for a coffin. Advertising your listings, really you see a lot of this realtor.org. A lot of people go to realtor.com to look at listings. That's advertising. You only had to put it in one medium though. You had to put it in the multiple listing service, and then it went out from there to realtor.com, to Zillow, to probably Walmart's got a real estate section on their website. But it goes out in a lot of places, but the advertising, most of it's going to be free to you. Some people will spend money on newspaper ads. Personally, I have never ever got a call off of an ad in the newspaper. And that's back when people took the newspaper. My mom was one of the last people in Birmingham that's got a subscription to Birmingham News. When she dies, they're going out of business. It's sad, you know. I used to read it. She'd get through with it, and I guess 2 years ago, I just take it now to the recycle. Don't even look at it. I don't look at the real estate stuff, and I'm in the business. And there's probably some information in there I could use, but I don't. But that's not good advertising money. Free stuff, that's where the good is. And there's your free one right there. Facebook. Y'all on Facebook, you'll see other agents. They're putting their stuff on there. I don't know if they've ever had any success with it. I've never put anything on Facebook. I don't know. But I see a lot of other people putting their listings on Facebook. And if somebody, you know, of your 5,000 friends, the ones that are in Birmingham, it amazes me how many friends I've got in Russia right now. I don't know how that happened.
Uh-oh.
How did that happen? How did y'all get on here? I've been trying to thin them out over the last year, because who are these people? But they spell everything backwards and their letters are wrong. But, you know, if you're interested, there may be somebody in Russia right now looking for, on Facebook, for a property in Birmingham. And if you put it out there, they may be just the one that's going to contact you and say, that's exactly what I'm looking for. I want something right next to the whatever it is they're wanting to, what is it Russia's trying to do now? Steal our space shuttle or something? So, yeah, your house is right next to where they're making the space shuttle. And yeah, they want to rent it for about a year.
Get them more than a house.
This is one I keep up here just to show you how things change over time. When I first put actually MySpace, I don't think they have a space anymore.
I don't think so.
But you see, Facebook's there, LinkedIn is there, Twitter looks like it was just kind of coming alive. And now Twitter is, our country's being run by Twitter right now. And what can I get for free? We've talked about a lot of what you can get for free. Facebook ads right off, that's free. You're lucky you don't have to pay for them. But if you want to pay for them, they will give you that option. You can go over, it says Boost, and you can click on Boost, and it says how much you want to spend. Well, I'll spend up to $1 a day. Yeah, how about $3 or $4 or $5 or $10 a day for a couple of weeks? Well, you can work that in the budget. You can put whatever budget you want. And then tell them, all right, here are the people I want to see this. And it may be everybody in Birmingham. But you probably want to tighten it down to like a geographical area or an age. If you're trying to, I don't know, trying to reach first-time home buyers, you're probably going to be looking at younger people. And they're on Facebook. You just got to find them, and Facebook will find them for you. They know who they are, where they live. They know everything about them. And if you say, Boost, I'll spend $10 a day, they will drop that ad right on their Facebook page. Every time they flip up, there's your ad. Another way you can spend some money, this is free stuff, but another way you can spend money is Zillow. Now there your budget's got to be on up there. Because you looking, you go on Zillow and then you looking in Hoover or something, and there'll be 4 agents over here on the side. The first one's the listing agent. Chances are they don't have a picture there. But then the next 3 are agents that are paying Zillow. Average of about $1,000 a month for their little picture to pop up with their contact information every 4th time, or 30 or 4th time, somebody clicks on Hoover or that zip code or whatever it is. They have bought a little geographical area. They didn't buy all of Birmingham, they couldn't afford that. But you know, they can get a little area here. But about $1,000 a month. Well, I'm thinking, if you got all these people over here paying $1,000 a month to get these leads, I'm guessing they're getting at least $1,000 worth of commission off of it. Probably at least a couple thousand. I had one guy tell me that for every $1 he spends on Zillow, he got $3 back. Okay, well, I can work with that. But if you're not getting any sales off of it, that's $1,000 you just should spend somewhere else. Taxes, this is on our plan ahead. Looking at plan ahead taxes. You're going to have to think about your taxes, because as an independent contractor, the broker's not cutting taxes out of your check. They don't pay your Social Security. When you file your taxes, first year you're an independent contractor, you have to file an extra form called an SE, the self-employment. That means they're going to say, how much did you make? Now multiply that by 16, I think point about 5 now, and send us that is your self-employment tax. And you say, oh no, that's just too much money to be sending them. Because it'll be thousands, it'll be your biggest expense normally, will be your self-employment tax. But when you get to be my age and you start getting that Social Security check, you're gonna be glad you paid that money years and years ago, because it's all coming back to you now with interest. So my thought on it is pay it. And the more you pay, the more your check's going to be later on. Membership and dues, you're going to have a couple of things you'll have to join. If you want to have your listings in the MLS, you'll have to join the MLS. That's a fee that you pay. To join it, there'll be an initiation fee, and then there's a yearly fee. Here we pay, I think, July, and that goes for a year. And next July, you got to pay again. Another one here is the Realtor organization. That's a trade group, and if you want to be in the Realtor organization, you got to pay that every year. There may be other groups that you want to be in. If you are a commercial agent, there's one that calls CCIM. That's a trade group, and you'll have to join their group and pay them. But they got classes, you'll pay for those too, but nobody rides for free except on your Facebook ads. Education. I said this earlier, you'll never get enough. I think, you know, the week I die, I'll probably still be taking classes, because you just want to keep learning and learning, and the more I can learn about this, then the better I'll be at it. It may be something like right now, I would like to learn about tax certificates. I don't know enough about it to even be dangerous. But if I knew more about it, I could probably turn that into a revenue stream. Because that's what education's about, is more money. The more education, the more money. Equipment, you've got everything you need. A cell phone and a laptop. That pretty much gets you in this business. Got to have a car. Pretty much have to have a car. Don't take people around in your car though. Have them meet you at the house. Don't get in their car. Don't put them in your car. A couple of reasons. Your safety is the first one. The second one is your liability. If you're riding somebody around in your car, that's a business trip. And now you just get opened up all kind of liability. Your insurance company, you didn't tell them you were using this car as a business car, and they're going to say, well, then we're not paying. So watch that. Overview. I don't remember what this is. Oh, writing your mission statement. This is what it says. A mission statement is something that you should do as a business, saying, here's what we do and how we do it. Just a couple of sentences. You need to be thinking about that. I'm going to provide the premium service for people looking for houses in Hoover or something. Just you got to tighten it down to where here's what I'm doing. I'm not looking for rental property in Gadsden. Focus in on what you're going to do, and then stick to your mission and you have a value statement there too. Here are our values. I'm not going to cheat, lie, and all this kind of stuff. Which the Real Estate Commission will be glad. Into a business purpose. Well, it's more of the who you are and what you're going to do. You just really need to decide, how am I going to use my license? Am I going to focus on rental property? Am I going to focus on high-end lake property? There's somebody running an ad on, I don't remember what station I was listening to, Smith Lake. That's a specialized market. And they're up there talking about how well they know Smith Lake. They don't need a GPS or a map. They're just making you comfortable with they know everything about Smith Lake. And you can really get a nice lake lot up here for $50,000. We're sitting over here in Birmingham saying, wow, I can get a nice lake lot and Smith Lake, and I hear it's a nice lake for $50,000. I might call them. But they have focused in, that's all they do. They say, we don't go anywhere else. They're telling you, this is what we do, how we do it, and if you want this, come see us. We're the professionals. They're not showing houses in Hoover. They're telling you right in their ad, we're not going there. You've got to do the same thing. You're not going to go to Smith Lake and show houses. No. You're going to call somebody in Smith Lake and say, hey, I got a client. Can you help them? And that's absolutely. More in your business plan, just what are you going to do, how are you going to do it, and figure that out. This is one of your options on your project for the end of class. I told you, we don't have a test, we've got a project. This is one of the options. You can come up with a detailed business plan. Here's what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, the money, everything. Just lay it out. That may be a good one for you. Your other two options are to do a listing presentation for the seller, or you can do a buyer consultation showing and all how you would work with a buyer. So you got three options here. Y'all got, looks like about 4 weeks. Figure which one you want to do. Market research. You will do a whole lot of market research. You'll learn how to do it. We're going to work on that. Actually, tomorrow night we're going to work on pricing property. So we'll get deeper into that tomorrow night. Have y'all ever heard of the DISC profile? No? A lot of companies use the DISC profile to see if you're a good fit for them. Or if you come into the company, don't you do HR? All right. A lot of companies in HR will give a potential employee the DISC profile test. And once they answer these questions, not that many questions, I think it's 25, it's a short little test, but it'll put you on a grid, whether you're a D, I, S, or C, and each one of those is a personality type. And if you'll get to where you can read people. And you do this already subconsciously. When you're talking to somebody, if you're talking to, they're an engineer, well, you already making opinions about how they think. An engineer typically doesn't want to hear your small talk. They want to hear the square footage, the SEER rating of the HVAC system. They want to know what type of shingles. I had one that wanted to go up in the attic to look at the joist and the rafters. I said, I'll just wait right down here for you.
I know that's real.
But that's how they think. And once this DISC profile, and they got a little thing where you can go in there and take the test yourself and see what kind of personality you've got. And if you have a certain personality and they have a different personality, I'm going to tell you this, they're not changing theirs to match yours. You've got to match theirs.
Yeah.
You got to tell them about the SEER rating, and this is 3-dimensional shingles, and the rafters are 28 inches or 30, whatever. That's what they want to hear. And then some of them don't want to hear that at all. They just want to talk about your family, all the soft stuff. But this is powerful stuff right here. DISC profile. Then once you know what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, you come up with your plan. Here's how I'm going to approach business. I'm going to be amiable. It's one of the DISC things that you're just real soft and talking to them soft. That's the way I'm going to be, unless I see they're another type, and then I'll try to adjust to them. But you can pick up pretty quick what people's personality is and how to work well. Why I use you, this is your they call it a 30-second elevator speech. This is where you have already thought about why they should use you. People got a short little attention span. They'll listen to you for a few seconds, and if you haven't got their attention, they've zoned out. But you've got, it's a 30-second elevator speech. If you stuck on an elevator with somebody for 30 seconds, you got to tell them everything they need to know about how you can help them. Boom, you're done. Now, back off. But that's your selling points. Why do they want to use you? Well, it may be that you've sold 14 houses this week in this neighborhood. That may be a really good selling point. But being brand new agents, your selling point may be, I've got time to work with you. I got the time. Benefits to the customer, that's just extending that. We're just about through here. Launch strategies. This is where you've got your plan built together. You got it all figured out what you're going to do. Now, how am I going to start? Where am I going to start? Am I going to walk around Camden Lake? That'd probably be where I would start there. Those houses, it's a nice, safe area. You can get out there and you can start with your next door neighbor. I'm your next door neighbor. Wanted to meet you. What do you do? Well, I sell real estate.
I already did it.
Yeah. Yes, that's been good. I'm proud of you.
On both sides.
Both sides. Go on down the
Going down the
street.
street.
Just keep going, walking around there. Personal promotion. This is the stuff like some people give out pens with their name and all printed on it. Cards is a personal promotion. What they need to know about you is on there. Your website is personal promotion. You want to drive people to your website. That's what we do. If I can just give you one piece of information, it's newlocationrealty.com. That's easy to remember. People can usually spell it. Some of them have trouble with realty. They like spelling reality.
Right.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. But that's one little piece of it. You go there and you can find out everything you want to know. Distribution. I can't remember what this was about. It says a good summary though, so maybe that's kind of pulling everything together. Your marketing plan, that's what we're still on. What is it that you do that they need you for? Because they need you for something. They may not know what it is yet. But once you pull your value proposition up and figure out how I'm valuable to the seller, then you can tell them, here's what I can do for you to save you whatever it is, time, money, your life, because you're opening the door to people you don't even know. That's your best thing on a for sale by owner, their safety. Because when you're bringing somebody to their house, you've already probably run a credit report on them, got a approval letter on them, you know who they are. You're pretty safe with them. But that for sale by owner, somebody just pulls up in front of their house and comes up and knocks on the door. Hey, can I come on in? Let me get my brother Daryl, my other brother Daryl. We want to come in and look at your house.
Daryl Winnie.
Yeah. Pricing. This is what we're going to work on tomorrow night. So we're going to jump on over this. This is a whole session just on pricing. Okay, income projection. How much can you make in this business? That's really why you started down this road anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It is high-paying hard work or low-paying easy work. If you do the work, you do what I'm telling you to do here, and we've covered a lot of ground tonight, but all we've talked about is how you're going to get started and get going. You haven't done anything yet. You don't have anybody saying, hey, I want you to help me. You got to find them, but once you're there, you're going to make a sale. That's going to lead to another one, and then you can say, yeah, this is a good job. But just a reality check here. half the agents in Birmingham didn't do a transaction last year. You think they called anybody or went and told any? They were a secret agent. They didn't want anybody. No, you may want to buy something from me, and I don't know how to fill out the forms. But the average commission is let's just say 2.5%, and the average sale, let's say it's $200,000. So that's $5,000 on a sale, gross money that's coming in. You got to give your pimp, that's your broker. You got to get their cut. So whatever your brokers, because I can't quote prices out on the internet, but whatever your broker cuts, and you want to be with a broker that's not going to take too big of a piece. You want to watch junk fees and a lot of them will throw every kind of fee on you they can throw on you. Watch that. But let's just say you get, let's say out of that 5,000 you got 4,000 of it, or 3,000. Well, that's not, you're going to make how much? You want to make 30,000, 40,000, 50,000? Well, you can figure, well, if I want to make 40,000, I'm getting 4,000 per sale. I got to make 10 sales this year. That doesn't sound that hard, but it is. 10 sales is a pretty good year. But all of them are not going to be that. Some of them will be 80,000. You may get into the foreclosure part, and you're selling a whole bunch of them. You may sell, I've done as many as 8 at one time in a foreclosure package. And I said, well, I sold 8 houses this month. Yeah, but it was to one person at one time. So the money, the thing I'm trying to get to you on the money is just keep doing what you're supposed to be doing. And if it's a $100,000 sale or a $500,000 sale, they're going to average out. And as long as you're getting enough to say, okay, this is better than being a cashier at a grocery store, then keep doing it. If you get to the point to say, I just can't do this, then you may want to look at maybe getting with a builder, where a builder will put you in a model home and say, here's your job right here. You just sit here, and when people walk in the door, you talk to them. You may work better that way. Some people do. Some people want a steady paycheck. Every Thursday, every Friday, I want to get paid. Well, that may be better working for a builder, because you work, it's not like a real job there. You got certain hours, you work pretty much 40 hours a week. But then you don't have to do any of this marketing or your database is going to be a lot smaller, because it's just going to, everybody that comes in, they're going to require you to get all their information, because they are putting them in their database. Because if you leave, they've still got your database. Expenses, we've already talked about that. Now your action plan, we just covered that. And look at here, we are at the end. How did we do? Do we know how to create a database? You think so?
A little
All
bit.
right, let's start back over. We'll be through at midnight tonight.
Yes, we know.
Yes, Steve, I know how to do a database.
We know how.
Yes.
And then we have some backup that go back.
Identify ways to prospect. That was
Yes.
I started out with farm, and we
Mhm.
went out from there.
Mhm.
We talked about managing your time efficiently,
Yes.
sitting in the office, doing paper shuffling is not making you money. And then develop a business plan. What are you going to do? Who are you going to work with? How are you going to work with them? Develop what it is you want to do. Like here, we're a property management company. That's our core business. The sales, they come. We don't worry about them, because property management is what we focus on. We do that. I mean, every day we're doing property management. Even the weekends, at nights, but you adjust to that. That's our business model. We're okay with people texting us at 10 o'clock at night saying my toilet's stopped up. Well, some people, that's not what they want to do.
Right.
But that's our business plan, and we just keep refining it and working on it. You're gonna decide what it is you wanna do, and then you're gonna come up with a plan on how to do it, and then you'll execute. And what is it coaches do? The football coaches? They don't just throw all those players out on the field and say, y'all do what you want to do. No, they teach them what to do, how to catch, and then they execute it over and over and over and over until they start getting it right. Well, it's you. You're going to start getting, if you keep doing it over and over and over, you're going to start getting listings. You're going to start finding buyers. And then you're going to refine your execution to where you get better at it. And I'm not spending time I don't need to spend. That's what coaches do. I'm your coach. I'm going to teach you how to do this, and then there's going to be accountability. Oh no. But there will be.
Yeah.
We're gonna work through all that. All right, folks. It is our time's up. Appreciate y'all being here. Tomorrow night we're gonna do pricing, and that's a lot of fun too, because that's the first thing that the seller's gonna ask you is how much you think my house is worth. Well, if we've got our business plan and we've stumbled over a seller because y'all are gonna go talk to a FSBO this week, and well, you don't know what his house is worth, but he doesn't either apparently, because it's still for sale. He may ask you right when you walk up the door, well, what do you think I ought to be selling it for? Well, if y'all will wait till after tomorrow night, you'll know how to price property better, and you'll be able to tell him, well, others in your neighborhood similar to yours have sold for this much, this range within the last year. That's what we're going to work on tomorrow night. All right?
All right.
Any questions? Any other questions, comments, anything before we go?
No.
We good? All right, let's call it a night.